everyone, welcome to the show. Glad to have you here on our weekly podcast. This is Tennessee Wildcast. Jason Harmon over there. We'll get to Barry in a minute. Barry Cross here. See all this equipment out in front of you. You ever want to be one of those photographers out there on the water, in the woods? So many of you want to do it now. We're going to talk about that today with some two really good journeys. And another one that you can't say over here working today on how you can get outside and do some taping of all those fish you catch, those deer you hunt, those turkeys you miss, all kinds of stuff. All this stuff will show how good or bad you really are. And we're going to talk about that today on Tennessee Wildcast. Tell your friends about us. We're here every week. Every single week we're here. The old shows are here. If you haven't watched all the old shows, you're missing some good ones. We'll keep you updated with current events going on. We're going to do that here in a second with Jason. And we're going to keep doing it for a long time. And we also sometimes put some of these parcels of it over on our Facebook too, so you can watch it. So everything we can in the social media world, we're trying to get you involved with us to come find us, right, Jason?
That's right. We've got been putting some great videos out there on Twitter and Facebook and trying to get people to see what's going on and maybe give a few tips on these, fishing or predator proofing. That was one of the last ones we put out. But
yep, I really like the predator proofing. That was a good piece of work by you, and of course by our friend Mimi over in Region 3. And if you haven't seen it, you ought to take a look at it. And not just predator proofing, but how you work with some of the animals that sometimes create problems around your home. And she has good tips and advice on it. And it's not always to go and necessarily eradicate the animal. It's to take care of the issues that you can have, some of your husbandry issues. Right?
And you can learn more and get more in depth on last week's show if you go back and watch last week's show. She was on there. So
you can. All right. Well, what's going on? We're into June. Believe it or not, here we are.
Boating season.
It is, for sure.
There's last weekend was Memorial Day weekend, and I heard there was all kinds of stuff going on. Some good, some bad, but
I did. I talked to one of the captains here in the Middle Tennessee part of the world, and he said they had a day with a lot of BUI for the weekend. Boating under the influence. If you don't know, if it's 0.08, if you're drinking alcohol, you can be in a boat. You can have alcohol. You can't be over 0.08 and drive that thing. So if you're over 0.08, get the person that's sober and let them drive the thing. But they said they had a pretty good big weekend there, but a relatively safe weekend across the state. I did see some non-boating water-related fatalities, but I don't know if we had any boating fatalities across the state.
Not that I'm aware of.
No. Yeah, so that's a good deal. And, even the ones that aren't non-boating, you have folks that drown, wear that life jacket. If you're not a good swimmer or you're in somewhere you're not familiar with, or if you're jumping off a cliff, it's something that I did dumbly about 500 years ago. Just don't, really. If you don't have to, just be safe.
And just, if you're going to drink, don't drive.
Exactly. That is exactly right. June 11th coming up. What is that big day?
Free Fishing Day.
Free Fishing Day. We got probably 20 different events here in Middle Tennessee in the Region 2 area. And just a great day for people to get out and go fishing and hopefully catch a lot of fish. We're putting fish in the water, and that's what we want them to do, is get out there and catch fish and have a good time.
A lot of catfish are going in all over the state, and Barry's talking about Middle Tennessee. The Region 2 for us has at least 20 events, but then you got Region 1, 3, and 4. All of them probably have at least that many. Some might have a few more. All listed on our website at tnwildlife.org on the Outdoors calendar right at the top of the page. Click on it, and you'll find them all. And there's also a bunch going on the weekend before Free Fishing Day. This show will air before that, June 4th. It's not a Free Fishing Day, but for some reason, a lot of people would pick that day to have events, so check it out.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't there a free fishing week?
There is. If you're a certain age, it's not for adults. It's for those. Check the guide just to double check me, but I think it's under 16. During the week, it's for them. But the Free Fishing Day is that Saturday for everybody. And I do want to remind everyone too, those Free Fishing Day events are for kids mostly. But when they leave, and some of them are only 2 or 3 hours long, a lot of those catfish are still there where those kids left them, and you can go fishing for them.
Yep.
So, and then what else? Anything else going on?
Let's move on to Tagboard. It's growing and getting bigger and better every week. We're seeing more entries, more posts. But let me cut to the screen, and for you folks that are watching at home, here was a post from I can't see his name right now, but anyway, a guy posted so long turkey season until next year. So anyway, a few shots from his season. His got a couple of birds there. Looks like
Gave
maybe.
us a collage.
Yeah.
How about that?
And then the other photo is from our TN #TN Wildlife, and there's a deer over in Radnor Lake.
Yep, and let me tell you that that's in velvet, but that velvet has broke the hairline.
That's right.
So if you saw that deer out in the deer season,
That's one of two
that's
right
a buck.
there.
That's one of two. All right, doesn't matter whether it's in velvet or not. So we had somebody ask us that the other day. Does it matter? Yes, it matters. If it gets above that hairline, velvet or not, it's a buck.
Yep.
And that show is still out there too. If you watch Chuck Yost, we had a lot of folks watch that program and have Chuck Yost explain again the deer seasons and the big game seasons. Just look on the site and you'll find him, and Chuck's a good interview too.
I'd say before too long, when it gets closer to season, we'll revisit those issues and make sure everybody knows.
We'll be talking a lot.
Make sure everybody knows what's going on.
And we didn't even hit everything.
No.
We got a lot to discuss between now and the fall. We got a long way, but we're going to do that. Anyway, what else, Jason, before we get to the main reason we're here today?
Well, thought we'd see what Barry's got in Region 2, if anything's going on that we want to let people know about in his region.
Right now, we're just ramping up for Free Fishing Day, and we're promoting safe boating. And right now, that's what we've got going on. Our officers have been out patrolling. They've been going to events, educating, and that's what we're trying to promote as heavily as we can is safe boating. Wear your life jacket. Common sense on the water.
The wear your life jacket, I've been talking about it, I guess, for 30 years, and it's that cliche thing that people almost don't want to hear, but I promise you, if you wear that life jacket, your chance of coming home are so much greater than what they would have been. And don't think you can't have an accident. We posted just this week a video that Jason shot of two of our wildlife officers over in the eastern part of the state. You don't get any safer than these guys who know what they're doing on the water, but they're wearing their life jackets, hit something on the water. Next thing you know, they're both in the water and their life jackets save them.
Yeah.
And that video's out there.
Just a small log, and it caught the motor just right, the prop, and flipped the boat.
And that's right. And the thing is, if you're not going to wear it for you, wear it for your family, because they're the ones that have to wait on you by the water side while people look for your body. So keep that in mind. If nothing else gets to you, wear your life jacket.
Yeah.
It's easy.
And truly, they've made it so easy to wear a life jacket nowadays. Fishermen, if you want to wear the suspenders, it's unrestricting. If you want to wear a belt pack and take your shirt off and get that suntan, you can do that. I mean, there's no real good reason not to wear one. People say, oh, it's hot, it's this or that. They've made them so non-restrictive now. You can wear one and you don't even know you got it on.
And I think the price is coming down on some of those inflatable jackets now too. But what's your life worth to you anyway? So make a great present for somebody that you love too. All right, we got a ton of stuff out here. We got these two guys. They can shoot great video. They're good communicators. Todd over here, he's working the board, an excellent communicator also. So we got three guys in here, two that you can see, and a whole big old table full of stuff. We want you to consider going out and shooting a lot of video, and we have a platform for you, TWRA.TV. If you want to put it out there, you can get on there for free and put your stuff out there and have your own outdoor show. It's a really neat thing. But if you never do that, if you just want to put it on your hard drive right there in your home so you can watch it with your family, these guys are going to give you some ideas of how to do it and make it easy. And from real good equipment to your iPhone, right?
Well, I mean, you look at all this stuff. You don't have to have all this stuff. Really, for me, I've been doing this for a long time, and sometimes I'm better than others, but just on my own personal hunts and my own personal fishing trips, going out and just getting video of it adds an element other than just the normal. You know what I mean? It's not just the hunt anymore. It's not just going out and catching a fish. Now I caught it on camera, and that makes it even better for me. So, and I think a lot of people would realize that if they could bring it home and show it to, the wife and the kids.
Okay, well, let me tell you, Barry Cross he's a videographer here at TWRA, but he shot for the Wildside television show for some 15 years or so, and before that was at Channel 2 in Nashville, shooting news, and of course Jason's been shooting years for the agency and has shot some freelance stuff, of course, a lot of things like that, and so both of them are very experienced with their camera. Todd too. Todd's been all over the place, over in California and here, and but all these guys have shot for a long, long time, so they've got good experience and can give you some good ideas. And I was saying before we got started that it could be as easy as this right here, right?
Yeah, that right there is a great tool because, I've got a 4-year-old, and we've been fishing, and I take pictures and video him all the time with my phone, and I can send it to the grandparents, and they love to see what's going on. When you can't be with your family, you can send them the imagery you're capturing with the phone, and the phone takes great pictures, great video that you can then edit if you want to and make your own show. Just it's that easy.
Is editing software inexpensive and easy to find these days? Can you get it free online?
Well, some of it's expensive. Some of it's you can find some free stuff out there if you search hard enough. And a lot of like Windows computers come with Movie Maker, I believe, and that's a way to get started. If you own a Mac computer, it comes with iMovie. That's
what I use. Yeah, I like it a lot.
So there's that, and then there's the professional side of things, or more high-end software that you can buy. But
name one or two of those, just in case there might be some folks out there who want to get really serious.
Well, you got Final Cut's got Final Cut Pro, and then you got Adobe's got Adobe Premiere.
And there was another piece of software, and I'm going to reference this article here a little bit later and talk about some boating stuff, but it referenced a piece of software called Movica. Movica?
Okay.
I'm not familiar with that, but I think it's a PC-based software.
Okay.
So that's something that you might research. I hadn't looked into that yet, but that's another piece of software that's out there.
You got to have the editing stuff though if you're going to get there eventually, right? If you're going to make a story somehow or another, you got to have the editing stuff. But what's the stuff you shoot with outside of this camera? What would you say take outside with you?
Well, before I leave the editing part and the phone, there's apps out there that will edit your video from your phone too. So think about that. Research that. Research the App Store.
That's good.
And you can edit the video from your phone with your phone. So.
And it's really once you get into this, it's really just like you're fishing. You start out, maybe you don't have the high-end fishing rods, or you don't go buy high-end lures, and before you know it, you go, man, I got to do a little bit more. I got to do a little bit more, and that's the way it is with the video. And
I like that.
I mean, you start, and then you want to build, and you want to build, and you want to build, and that's something you can grow into, just like anything else.
Okay. What's some of the small things you can start with? I know you've got I've seen a GoPro around here and a Session. Is it called a Session, Jason? Is that?
Well, there's a GoPro Session. That's probably the lower end.
I'm gonna pick it up. Can I do that?
Yeah,
or did you have everything?
That's the Hero 2 right there in your hand.
All right.
The Session. Let me grab it.
Okay. All right.
Is this little guy? I'll let Barry hold it, and I'll cut to his camera.
Here, Barry, hold both of those.
And see what we've got here. But the Session is the little black camera there. It's the cheaper of the GoPro 4 series. It shoots great video. That little clip that's on it can clip on the bill of your hat, and you can shoot all day long with that thing.
That's waterproof too, isn't it?
Yeah, that one is all waterproof all the way around. So
without a case.
Without a case.
Yeah.
All right, and of course this has a case on it, and I used a case the other day, and it still got moist inside. So you got to be careful with your cases and make sure everything's locked down good. But both of those are inexpensive cameras, really,
right,
for shooting stuff.
That's the Hero 2. It's a little older version. Still works good though, and I think there's a Hero 3, or maybe that's a 4 right there, a different version of the 4.
And they come with all different attachments. You see this one's got a hat clip, and this one you put a little tripod with that can wrap around stuff. I mean, these cameras, they're wide angle. They get any angle that you want. You can put them anywhere and just let them record.
Right.
And they capture great video.
Okay.
And some angles you never could get with a normal camera,
Yep.
And then I like this too. I can't see where I am, but that's a stick that you put it on. You can shove it up high, or you can shove it right down in the water, which is what I do a lot.
It's just a monopod, and with the GoPro, you can actually change the up and down on it. So
you're talking about whether it shoots upside down or
So
I do that a lot.
Actually, for this one, that's the correct way to hold it, because that's what I do with it. I stick it down in the water because you can get good fish shots. You can get fish coming to the boat. You can get I think the last thing I did was at a hatchery getting shots of walleye swimming around. So I mean, it
takes great shots.
And then you can adjust it and turn it back over. And now you can take that same camera and hold it way up high and get a shot, that shows the whole boat, or, whatever you're standing in. All of a sudden you get a really high angle shot, and we'll talk about that later. But I I think it makes videos look a lot better if you have a multitude of shots from different angles. So low, high, all that kind of stuff makes your video look better. Especially once you go
multiple
into the
shots
edits.
of the same shot almost.
Almost, yeah. I mean, if you have an activity that repeats, like if you're in a canoe and you're fishing, that's a repeatable.
Right.
You're going to cast, you're going to cast, you're going to cast. Put this dude right here close to your hands and cast for a little bit. Put it out in front of you and cast for a little bit. Put it up behind you high and cast for a little bit. Eventually, you'll catch a fish. And then you've got a sequence of shots that lead right into that, and it just makes your videos look better if you can think about sequencing shots.
Right.
Do y'all both think a lot of people are doing this now? Is this something that I've heard big classes are being taught on just sportsmen who want to go outside and shoot video?
I think it adds to the hunt. It adds to the fishing trip. I think a lot of people are doing it not only just to show other people, but I think a lot of people are starting to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And there are companies out there that are tailoring to the hunter and the fisherman, with camo wrapped cameras and things like that. There's a company out there that I know of, at least one, that tailors to the outdoor photographer, videographer.
Okay. All right. What about there's the cameras we're using to shoot this show? Not extremely expensive cameras that are sitting around, but these same cameras they're so much better than cameras were 20 years ago, and we call them these cheap, right?
Right.
$200 or $300, and they shoot 1080i, right?
Yeah. Each one of these cameras here that we're using for this show is just a cheap, inexpensive camera. It's got some internal memory on it. If you want to take it out in the field and shoot directly to the camera, it'll hold a SD card, so you can shoot the SD card. But yeah, it does a great job for the beginner and for us too. We use them all the time.
Speaking of that, when you have that bag that you take out in there, what do you add in there extra? You'll make sure you have 2 or 3 SD cards so you don't go out there and open it up and have nothing. And are there other secrets like that you guys have?
A couple of batteries.
Batteries, always batteries.
Always need them batteries.
Yeah, and cleaning cloth for the lens, just the essentials. What do you carry in your bag, go-to bag?
My go-to bag has always got the extra SD cards, the batteries. Sometimes I don't have an SD cloth, but I got a T-shirt, and
make sure it's cotton. Right?
Yeah, cotton shirt, and but other than that, something to keep that camera steady. And it's not important if you're shooting something up close, but if I'm on a turkey hunt or I'm on a deer hunt, you got to have something to hold the camera.
That's a great tip, or else it's going to do this whole time.
Right, and it's very distracting if you've got video that is constantly just jittering. And so you see right here, you've got a camera arm for putting on a stand.
Yeah,
that'll mount to a tree stand.
Yeah, and that in a tree. That is a wonderful thing, especially if you're going to shoot it yourself. If you're doing like a solo hunt, you can put that on the tree and
hold it up a little higher, Barry.
Your camera's there, and you don't have to think about it. You don't have to look at it until something starts happening, and then it's there. You can move it. You can do little pan and tilts with it, and it's more steady than you're going to be with just your hands. Plus, once you get your camera set, then you can pick your bow up and get ready for the shot, and hopefully
just let it roll.
Hopefully, just the deer doesn't walk out of the shot. But that is handy. Like that monopod right there for that GoPro is handy to keep that camera steady, because these little cameras, you can hold them like that. Boy, you're going to be shaking all over.
You find out how much.
But if you put that thing
there
on your leg right there, it's a whole lot more steady than it was before, just because you got 2 points of contact. Same thing, it's going to be even better if I stick it on the ground. Now that ground's not moving. The only movement's going to be my hand going back and forth, which will be less because I do have that point of contact.
Okay, and of course we don't have a tripod sitting up here, but I love a tripod too, or do we? Is that a tripod?
We've got one over here, but it's
you have to pick it up.
It's a reach.
Yeah, but I mean, and that.
So that's an option right there.
Yeah, I mean that's another option, and you can't go wrong with the tripod, because your video looks so much better if it's like let's say like I'm in the woods and I'm looking at a deer or I'm looking at a turkey and I'm enjoying that. Well, my head's not moving. You know what I mean? I'm watching it and everything's steady, and that's what I want to give to the people that are watching my video.
Makes a difference.
Is they see it just like I did, so it's not distracting if it's a nice steady shot. That's not to say that I don't take a camera and move with it when somebody's doing something. If I'm on a duck hunt or something, it's very rare that I have a camera on a tripod, just because everything is moving. So you follow action, and duck hunts are one of the worst things in the world for me to shoot because I'm not good at it. But
there's always something moving in a duck
I
hunt.
noticed that. I noticed it's got a microphone on it too. So should folks at least invest in inexpensive microphones to getting started, or should they just rely on how good the built-in microphone is on the camera?
Well, some cameras come with microphones like this one came with the mount for the mic and XLR inputs for wireless mics if you want to. That's a little bit higher end. But yeah, if you're buying some of these smaller cameras that just have the internal mics, you can upgrade to a mic that mounts on the shoe of the camera, on top of the camera, a little shotgun. It'll pick up the sound better. It's got a filter on it, so it'll sound better. And yeah, I mean, I would invest in one if you go with the cheaper camera. It'll make your shots or make your audio a lot better.
And I notice a lot of the cameras we shoot anyway are not interchangeable lenses. Barry, you shot for the wild side. I think you could change your lenses out. Depends on whether you're shooting an $80,000 camera or a $3,000 camera, right?
Yeah,
and then this option. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, a lot of people are familiar with DSLRs, and these cameras, you can change lenses out, and you probably want, if you're going to go this route, you probably want a couple of different lenses, a long lens and a lens like this.
Is that a good option? That's what I should ask, because I'm thinking of the old style video cameras, which we're shooting here, which I still love when I'm shooting video, but this pretty good.
It doesn't take, it takes great video, and it is a good option if you're wanting to just shoot video. For me personally, if it were me, if I was going to go out and I was going to shoot my own hunt, a GoPro, a couple GoPros, and one of these cameras like what we're shooting with here,
just small, inexpensive video camera,
just because that is automatic.
Yeah.
This right here takes a little bit of manipulation.
Focus.
You gotta stay on it. But that one, like these small, what do you call them? Handy cams.
Handy cams.
They are automatic, and they will adjust the iris. They will adjust focus even. So that might be a good route to go if you're. It goes
back to what you said from the beginning. You'll work your way into what you eventually become.
And if you move up to where now you and I are going to go hunting, and one of us is going to hunt and one of us is going to shoot, then something like this may be an option.
Yeah.
But still, again, a camera like this is a good option, because some of these actually come with a pretty decent zoom. I think I've seen them with a 20x zoom, which will actually get you on out there. But if, say, we're doing a fishing show, this 10x zoom will be just fine.
Yeah.
And it does a lot of auto features too, if you wanted to go that route.
So if you got to think, am I going to buy this camera mostly to hunt deer and turkey, or am I going to buy this camera mostly to catch bass and crappie?
And two, do I want to take still pictures? Because these take excellent still pictures. So if you got a little bit of a zoom and you can snap a picture whenever you want to, it's just what are you looking to do? You're right. And so outside of that, start thinking about how I'm going to put a story together or my hunt together. Think about different shots that you get in the woods, because you want to build the scene. You want to have that texture to your video. I like to call it, because if I go sit in the woods and I'm waiting on the turkeys to start gobbling, and it's starting to get daylight, and I've got little Tweety birds flying around. Well, if I get a shot that's got a Tweety bird flitting through it, and then I hear Tweety birds starting to sing, and then a turkey gobbles off in the distance, well, I just got a shot. Now I'm over to another shot, because that was good, but now I want to see a sunrise. So you just build the morning just like you saw it, but you build it with video and
walking in, walking out.
And
setting up a decoy, or
I think every different shot helps you build that scene, especially once you get into an iMovie or something like that, and you start changing different shots and putting it together. Another thing that I always tell people, especially with a camera like this, is to stay away from the zoom. And what I mean by that is people get infatuated with a zoom on a camera, and it's like, okay, I'm going to zoom in, I'm going to focus on Doug, now I'm going to zoom back out. Well, I still haven't got a shot because all I got to zoom in. So you see a deer and you go zoom into the deer, and then you're there 2 seconds and you zoom in back out, and you never get anything but really a wide shot out of it because you're not leaving it alone. So stay away from the zoom as much as you can. And if you go to a shot, let's say you zoom in, hold that shot. Because if you are going to edit that video, hold that shot for 10 seconds. And now you've got a nice little shot that you can dissolve into and dissolve out of. So it's things like that you got to consider how you're going to shoot something and put it together. So,
do you always plan before you go? You already got a story in mind before you go, or do you let what's happening there create the story for you?
Well, if I'm doing a deer hunt or something like that, depends on who I'm hunting with. If it's just a straight deer hunt, then yeah, it's just a hunt. If I like working here, if I'm going out to say like I did a thing on Flintville Hatchery, I didn't know anything about Flintville Hatchery when I went, and I'm being honest because I just knew it was an old hatchery and they were doing some winter trout stocking, so that was the story. But I got there and Jeff Sanders started telling me, this is how many fish we do a year. This is how we do this, and that's what I wanted to show was how they are doing it and why. And so you got to listen to the interview that you get and what they're talking about. Make sure you got shots that will cover what they're talking about, and it just for me, if I can take somebody's story, put it to video, and somebody can watch it and come away with, oh, that's how they do that.
Mm-hmm.
Then I've done a successful.
And I think that's a good tip. I think if you're someone who's going to get out and start shooting stuff, spend some time watching good video, find that show or the website or whatever, and watch what people like Barry have done or Todd's done or Jason's done. And you can see a lot of Barry stuff out on the TWRA Region 2 Facebook and on the statewide Facebook. I'm trying to get Barry to put everything on the statewide Facebook, but he's got the regional, and the same with these two guys here. Jason's putting a lot of stuff on the top of our our website, tnwildlife.org. There's a little slide that goes across, and that's how some of you found this show. And you can watch videos out there, but see how these guys put their stuff together. And if you've never shot before, watch how they tell a story, sometimes without saying a word. Sometimes it's just with video. Every now and then it's with voiceovers, or just letting whoever is there talk about what you're seeing on the screen. Mm-hmm. But just you got to watch the style and develop your own style, and I think you'll love it. It's storytelling.
And go to TWRA.tv and check out, a lot of our videos are there, and we're putting more and more up there every week, and there's other folks that have been shooting and joining that network, and
some
you can
of them
see
are
what they're doing.
Some of them are sportsmen like you, and that's what we want. We want folks to go out to TWRA TV and become your own outdoor show person. But again, if you never do that and you just do it for your house, for your family, you'll like it better if it's well done, and these guys know how to do it well. Barry, by the way, he's got like half a dozen, 200 Emmys or so. I don't know. I've lost count. But he's got Emmys for all his work over at the Wild Side, and he's done a good job.
Sitting next to a famous guy here.
Yeah.
He is. He should have been in the Legends Outdoor Show.
But
I know. Well, time has flown by. I didn't realize 30 minutes goes quick. But, Barry, we thank you for joining us this week.
I'm glad to be here.
We'll get you back, Barry.
It was a good show. Well, we didn't get to show any of our videos. I was hoping we could show some, but we'll do that.
Go out on our site. Todd, thank you for your work as always. Todd always does a great job. Talented man over here too. We need to get him on sometime to go talk about what he does. You shoot good stuff too.
Thank you, Doug.
Anything else?
Yep.
tnwildlife.org. Visit that website. We'll get you to everything we're doing.
Everything. All right. Thanks, Barry.
And
Thank you.
Real quick, I want to say thanks to Boat US for the article that I referenced earlier, just so get that out there.
Get their little plug in. All right, everybody. This is your agency, and we like talking about the outdoors. See you next week.